Welcome to the first final exam review video. In this video, we'll go briefly over linear equations. If you've already taken a look through your packet, you'll notice that there are multiple sections, and each section is centered around a particular type of solving. Remember that the video that you will be doing is going to definitely be solving an equation. It's not going to be graphing, it's not going to be analyzing. So keep in mind the bigger picture. The bigger picture is in all of these problems. The goal is to find a number in the end that could be plugged back in for x so that both sides of the equation equal the same number. In other words, you're looking for a number that satisfies, because that's the definition of a solution. This first video, linear equations are the easiest equations possible. You're very used to them. You spent all of Algebra 1 and maybe even pre-algebra, 8th grade, or numeracy doing these equations. So instead of working them out individually, I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly. You can check your work. As you go through this packet, I will show you the answer to the first problem. You will want to write down some important terms in the second column, and then complete the last problem on your own, and then I'll show you the answers. So here's the first one. You've probably already looked at the steps. Notice how I don't write down the steps from each one when you do your video. This is a great way to show what you know. Do the work and then say out loud. First I subtracted 6 from both sides. Next I multiplied by 3 on both sides. Ultimately I have x by itself. I could check this by plugging it back in. You would want to perhaps use the words coefficient or constant. And you would also probably want to talk about opposite operations. Because part of your grade is on providing reasons. So the reason I multiply by 3 on both sides is because multiplying is the opposite of division, which allows me to cancel out the 3. So on and so forth. Here's the second one. The only difference here is you have x on both sides. Obviously you would subtract. You can go either direction. I'll subtract 2x on both sides, which gives me 3x plus 8 equals negative 10. I'll add 8. I'll subtract 8. And then I'll divide by 3, which gives me an answer of negative 6. Essentially, you would use mostly all the same vocabulary. You might want to say something about collecting like terms. And you might want to talk about the fact that you have a choice of which direction to go. The last one, again, is still a linear equation, because notice a linear equation is an equation where the only thing you've done to x is either add or multiply or divide or subtract. There's no exponents, there's no square root symbol. When you have parentheses, you're definitely going to want to distribute first. And you should use that word, not just say multiply. When you do distribute, you get 2x minus 2. 2 cubed on the other side is actually just 8. Adding 2 to both sides, you get 2x equals 10, which means x equals 5. Take a moment to pause the video and work out the problems on the right. There may be extra vocab words in addition to ones I've noted down that you want to talk about. And for the rest of the problems, common mistakes and check steps will be important. These are simple enough that I won't spend any time on them. All right, here we go with the answers on the right-hand side. If you haven't worked them out yet, pause the video and do that. A and B, and C. And you will have a calculator with you, but please leave your answers in simplified fraction form when you do this on the video. If you're done with this section, pause, end the video, and you'll go on to quadratic equations next.